What's up everyone, OJ here. Welcome back to a brand new show on the channel called The Hype Meter, where we go over all of the biggest games upcoming in 2022 and how hyped I am by breaking it down and giving it an assigned score. And of course, you guys can join in on the action in the comments below and let me know what your hype meter is for each of the topics that we're going to break down for Pokemon Legends Arceus, and then of course your overall hype score. Now, not the score for the game because the game isn't out yet. Obviously, we can't rate it, but just the hype for it and overall. Then we'll compare and contrast to other games as we go along by the end of this year and of course to next year. Now, before we get into anything, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get awesome shows like the Hype Meter and more on the channel as soon as they drop. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright, starting out with Pokemon Legends Arceus, I think this is a great first game to do this new show on, and we have to talk about the release date hype, because when the game was first announced earlier in 2021, the release date wasn't too far away from there. We knew that the game was coming in early 2022, a January release. And now that I'm doing the show right now at this point, and we know exactly when it's coming, and we're pretty much already in December or in December based on when you're watching this, then yeah, the hype is definitely a 10. I'm going to have to give it a 10 on the hype meter because the game is very close. Now, if a game is announced and it's coming out like 3 or 4 years from now, or if they don't give a release date, you could be hyped, but it's not quite as hype for me if I don't know when I'm playing it. Like the fact that if they announce the game and then they give a release date that's like 6 months out or like less than a year out, that is more hype to me than just getting the game announcement. Now, I know for some people it's different, but to me, when you're grading and you're scoring these things, if the game is releasing and they give a solid date or a solid window, I think that is more hype. So with Pokemon Legends Arceus, the fact that they gave that window very early when it was first announced, and also the fact that it's very close now at this point, yeah, we got to give it a 10 for release date hype. So it's earned that. But how about the next topic here? And that is graphical hype. And the graphical hype is probably the lowest on this one when it comes to all the different things that we're going to discuss, because the graphics in this game are not necessarily amazing. They're not amazing at this point. I think some of the art style is good. I think that some of the things that they're doing in the game is good from a graphical style, or I would say perspective, but the actual graphics within the open world necessarily aren't too hype. So if I had to rate this one here on the hype meter, it's definitely going to be a 6 on the hype meter because they need to definitely shore it up. Now listen, when we first saw the game, it was looking a bit crusty. That first one, I would have given it like a 3 or 4 on the graphics scale. But not at this point with the new trailer, it's about a 6. Now this could change. I mean, we haven't seen the game in a little bit. Maybe they're working on some things. I know that Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl did get a number of graphics updates, although the end product still isn't anything too crazy. It did get a number of graphical updates from the first trailer and moving through. So I think by the time that we see the next trailer for this game, maybe in December, probably in December, they could improve things even more. So this could swing, but for right now, graphical hype is a 6 on the hype meter. Now, next up is presentation and music hype. Well, we haven't really heard too much about the music, but from what I know when it comes to Pokemon and from the trailers and from everything that we've seen so far, the presentation and music hype I think is going to be pretty good. I like what they're doing with the style and the slickness and the art when it comes to how they lay out the fonts and all that. All the presentation so far is pretty good, and I know the music's going to be good too. So I'm going based off of good faith and what I've seen so far from the presentation, with a little bit of music that we've heard from the trailers and things like that, some of the sound effects that we've heard, and what we've seen so far with the fonts and the UI and how they're handling all of that. So far right now, it's an 8. Just because they haven't shown us more. If they showed off more music and more stuff, it might be higher than that. Pokemon's always had like the low-key banger soundtracks and pretty good presentation when it comes to the slickness of the UI and the fonts and how they organize things and all that. But so far, so good. I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8 on the hype meter, so not bad there. And last, but definitely not least, and this is probably going to take the chunk of the time when it comes to any of these new hype meter games that I'm doing and shows that I'm doing, and that is gameplay hype. And I think that this is where I'm probably the most excited about, because it is a change. It is something new for the Pokemon franchise based off of the trailers that we've seen here. The gameplay looks really good. They've taken an open-ended areas. It's not completely open world like many people thought it was going to be, but I don't think that changes what I already thought about the gameplay in this game. You're going to have vast open-ended areas to go through. You're going to be able to fly through the sky freely. You're going to be able to be on a Stantler, or you're going to be able to be on a wild beast. You're going to be able to go in the water. You're going to be able to take on battles pretty much anywhere, and you're going to be able to get quests, go through and tackle those quests as you go along, turn them in. You have crafting in this game. You have a bunch of different things that you're not normally used to. Gone are the gym battles and gym leaders, replacing them with these big battles against like angry Pokemon. And to me, that gets me excited to see that. Also, with the battle system in the game, they have the speed style and the power style. They're really switching things up, making it a bit of a hybrid, that action game, also with those typical RPG elements in there. Really cool Pokemon design, some of the new Pokemon that we can get in there, the different versions based on the region as well. Everything that I've seen from the gameplay, just the pure gameplay perspective, has been very good. And I think that this is going to be something that really takes the Pokemon franchise to a new level and in a different direction in the right way, to where it can branch off and be its own thing. The whole Pokemon Legends line, right? And you can have the regular Pokemon line. So I think that this is the beginning of that. So gameplay on the hype meter, I'm going to have to give it a 10 out of 10 on the hype meter. I am extremely excited for the gameplay in this game. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of a recap when it comes to Pokemon Legends Arceus and the hype meter. So release date hype, 10. Graphical hype, 6. Presentation plus music hype, 8. Gameplay hype, 10. So we're gonna go ahead and tally up everything here. So we're gonna take those 4 scores, we're gonna add them up together, then divide them by 4, and then we're gonna get our overall hype meter score for this game heading into it. So we're gonna tally it up. We've got a 10 plus a 10 plus a 8 plus a 6. That is 34. We divide that by 4, and that averages out to 8.5. So overall, with the first rating of the hype meter show, it is a super hyped score. Super hyped score. It didn't get the top spot, which is the ultra hype, which there might be some games that can reach that spot, but this one got to the super hype score so far. So a couple closing things on this when it comes down to it. Pokemon Legends Arceus coming out late January. I think it's going to be a game that can really do some things that impresses some people out there. I know for myself, going through and talking about Pokemon Legends and how hyped I am for each one of these things, man, it's just really, really cool, because I looked through the footage over and over, and I went through all the different articles so far that we've gotten on the game, the art and everything, and I think that there's just so much potential for this franchise. There's so much potential for this game, which is why 8.5, that's not bad at all. Now remember, once again, guys, that's just the hype score heading into it. Now when the game actually comes out, we're gonna go back, we're gonna look at our hype meter, right? Just breaking down everything here. We're gonna go back, look at our hype meter, and we're gonna see if everything actually matches up when it comes down to it. Did the graphical hype meet where we thought, or was it better? The presentation and music hype, was it better or was it under? The gameplay hype, was it better or was it under when it comes down to it? So it's going to be really fun to go back and kind of look at things and have videos based off of that, or live streams as well. But for right now, super hyped for the game. The game is looking really good. This is Game Freak's chance to really kind of impress and do some new things with the Pokemon formula, and I am here for it, and I think that it's going to be a ton of fun when it does drop. Coming out on the Nintendo Switch, there's only one version of the game, which I thought was very interesting that they're not doing the dual versions of the game, but I guess because there's no online multiplayer, like head-to-head PvP, we have trading in the game, but there's no actual head-to-head multiplayer, so I'm guessing that's why they're not doing the one version than the other. So interesting on that end. but overall, still excited to just be able to go out there and buy one Pokemon game when it comes to a main game. This is a Game Freak main game. It's not like it's a super side theme or anything like that. So this is a main game from him. So we'll see how it all works out when it drops in January of 2022. So what are your thoughts on my Pokemon Legends hype meter, the first one here, and what is your hype meter breakdown? Give me your stats, give me your overall. I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching this first hype meter show. I do appreciate it. If you do enjoy the content, please make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.